about the you? That's what it's about right there. It's about
How
the
you feeling?
Man, let me tell you, Forrest. Let me tell you, Forrest, how amazing it was to go to Miami. Literally, I took off at 6 a.m., landed at 3, got a car to take me to the airport, then a car to take me to the game, stayed at the game, met tons of players. Forrest, I want to tell you this. People know our podcast.
Oh,
Like
yeah?
I was getting stopped so much. People like, I listen to the podcast. I listen to the podcast. I listen to the podcast. It was incredible, man. It was such a incredible. I loved it. I loved it. I just want to go through before we jump because we're going to talk about Florida State, instant reaction. But I want to talk about some people I met. Your boy right here, our boy Billy Corbin was there.
Oh, yeah?
30 for
Nice.
30. My man Billy Corbin. Got to give a big
He will be on the podcast at some point. We've been talking to him, so yeah.
Yeah. His 30 for 30, I forgot what list, but it came out the number 1 30 for 30.
With what the U number, the first U?
Yeah, the first U, like the biggest 30 for 30 ever, like the best one ever.
It's just kind of like what we always talk about. People love to hate Miami, so because people that love them love that, and then the people that hate them will still watch it. You know?
Yeah, and also it's just a great documentary. I don't care if you like the Canes or hate them. It's a great. I mean, Billy Corbin crushed that.
Yeah,
crushed it. Yeah. Also, want to give a big shout out to Derek and his son Evan. That's who I sat by during the game.
Nice.
I mean, such big Canes fans. They listen to the podcast, and they've been longtime season ticket holders. I felt like I was the recruit, because they took me all around. They showed me, they introduced me to people. They were so great. So big shout outs to Derek and Evan. Literally, I felt like I was a recruit. Like they were, it was awesome.
Did you get that NIL money though? Or
no, they didn't give me NIL money.
No.
I wish they would have for us.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. Also, I know it's going to sound cheesy, but I took a picture with Sebastian. That was cool to me.
Okay. That's not cheesy because first of all, the sound of that game, like resonating, like watching it, like played, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Like sometimes in that stadium, when they move, we don't get quite there. But the thing that I could hear was going on, even when you couldn't see it, was the Sebastian does and I was missing it then. It was like, see, yes, Gates. I was like, oh man, wish I was there. Yeah. Sounded awesome.
So we're doing the instant recap here in a second. I'm just going through a couple of pictures. I'm gonna have Finesse Mitchell on as well. So that'll be cool. Yo, I met him, Forrest. X.
Nice. Where did you do this?
So I guess at the games they give you a wristband. Like I said, I was being shown around by Derek, Evan, and a couple other people. So I got a wristband. It's where all the players come out, and you get to hang out with them before they meet the crowd and stuff.
Yeah.
So I got this picture with X. X, let me tell you something about X. He's a dog. He does everything for the community. One of the best role models in the game. And the dude's going pro, and I think he's going to have a long career. Love X. Also met, let's see here. Where is he? Bain. Ruben Bain, baby.
Nice.
Met Ruben Bain, baby.
Did you tell him about the Bain mask idea?
Oh, there's people in the stands with the Bain mask.
All right. I didn't know.
That ain't new for us. That ain't new for us.
The beginning of the year, that was our thing.
If you don't know who this dude's named Frankie. I'm gonna mess up his last name, so I'm not gonna even attempt it. But this dude's a beast. You will be seeing him on the field more and more and more. His first name Frankie, and I'm gonna mess it up. I'm not gonna even say, but his last name starts with a T. It's like Tinalula. I'm gonna mess it up. Anyway, that dude's a beast. And also, where is he? Met my boy Kiko.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Met Kiko, and then we had to throw it up. State champ sign. We had to throw it up.
That's a great trip.
Man, it was all literally in less than 24 hours. I was in and out for us. I was in and out.
Yeah, but you saw everybody too. That's I thought you were just seeing the game, which would have been great. But
here's what's interesting for us. I was the same way. I thought I was just going to watch the game, but then the more and more people I met, People listen to the podcast, man. People knew. I got stopped by band members. The band walked by. They were playing, and they had a break, and a couple band members go, "Oh, we listen to your podcast all the time." I was like, "It's starting. It's happening, man. It's happening." Let me bring him in right now. Finesse Mitchell. What's up, bruh? There he is. There he is.
What it do? What it do?
All about that you.
What's
it's all
cracking,
about that
fellas?
you, baby.
I'll take the victory. I'll take the victory. I will take the dub.
You know, I think we all will. Let's start off with Forrest. Why don't you give us some stats from the game, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Well, you want good stats, bad stats? What do you want?
Why don't you? Let's start with the good. Let's start with the good.
I mean, rushing 230 yards on the ground. Damian Martinez was like
Beast.
that's the guy. And he's been good all year, you know, like but that was the guy that I was in my brain we were getting, where it's just like you don't want a piece of this guy. He's running downhill. He averaged 9.9 a carry for the game. Yeah, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns for Damian Martinez. Fletcher had 71 yards, 4.7 a carry with a touchdown. AJ Allen, I know your boy. You only got 2 carries, 9 yards, but
let me tell you,
on the ground. Power running.
Yeah. He knocked the dude out. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Yeah,
bruh. And I don't want anybody hurt. I don't want to be that dude.
I do.
But by the way, if you're watching this is live. This is live. Leave your comments. We want to talk about your comments. Leave them. We got people watching right now. Leave them in the comments. We will talk about them. Let me tell you something about AJ Allen, and then I'm gonna get to Damian, and then of course Mark Fletcher. When AJ Allen came in the game, because I was in the end zone, so literally he was running away from us. So you saw the hole open up. That dude looks so fast and so quick. It's crazy how quick this dude is. And I honestly feel, because at first I was like, he needs to transfer. You know, if you watch this show, I'm all about AJ Allen. I was like, he needs to transfer. But you know what? He's that good where I think it's going to be Mark Fletcher and him next year.
Next year, man. I think Jordan Lau is going to be the third back.
Yep.
And I think J.R. Pringle will be how we're doing Chris Johnson right now. He'll be trying to touch the field. But I think we're going to be moving Chris Johnson out to the slot. I think we're going to be having Fletcher and A.J. Allen with the 1-2 punch, and then Jordan Lau will be doing the A.J. Allen. I honestly believe that you cannot keep A.J. Allen off the field next year if he stays at Miami. So
let me tell you, it was such a different gear when he got just those 2 carries. I mean, you should have saw when he broke those dudes' ankles. Everybody in the crowd was like, woo! Like it was like taken back. All right.
Well, this goes back, just before you get off that subject, this goes back to what we talked about at the very beginning of the year, was the difference with this team and going forward is AJ Allen, after the 4th game, maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, would have transferred when he had the option to. And I think now he's sticking around for that reason, because this is where the program's heading. You know, Damian Martinez is obviously gone, but it's just like this. That's how the program used to be. People that weren't afraid, they stuck around. And you know, once they got their turn, it was done. You know,
even not to cut you off, but even after the game, they asked Damian Martinez about just that 7-yard run.
Yeah,
and Damian was like, "That dude's sick." I mean, it's just like he's a great. Yeah, I want to move to Mark Fletcher, because I'm going to tell you this: Big Mark passed away. Very sad news. And when I heard the story, and everybody was talking about it at the game, that Mark Fletcher said, "My family wants me to come home," and he went to all his teammates and said, "But this is home." Man, that hit a certain way. And when I watched him score that first touchdown, I'm not gonna lie, I shed a tear. And he pointed up. Oh my God! You talk about the emotion that went through that building. Everybody was just like, we were cheering, but we were crying at the same time, man. It was a beautiful moment. Big shout outs to Mark Fletcher. Prayers to your family, man.
Yeah.
It was an incredible moment, though, to share with him in that stadium. And
if you are an athlete, I will say in the history of athletes, and I think we saw this with Brett Favre having an incredible night after his pops died. There's other athletes. you just don't run home. Maybe if it's the birth of your child.
Yes.
But if it's somebody who was your mentor, who groomed you for this all your life, your family may not understand, but your father would want you right where you were, making him proud, because there's nothing you can do in that moment. So you might as well continue on that pathway of being great, because that's what y'all worked for all your life.
Yeah, man. It was a moment, man. And I just, like I said, nothing but love. And Mark Fletcher, everybody was talking about him and was loving him up. And that came.
You know what else I love about him? He is always the first one to greet Damian Martinez after a big run or a big touchdown. And if you're AJ Allen and you see that, knowing that Fletcher could have been the RB1, but you see Fletcher's attitude, even with a loss of a family member, you see Fletcher's attitude. There's no way I think AJ is going anywhere at this point.
Yeah.
Now it's a culture. It's a true culture.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Damian, hold on. Let's talk about Damian real quick.
Okay.
This is the Damian we paid for.
Yes, it is. Yes,
I remember.
Amen.
And 3 games ago, I was like, don't get down on him, because as the season wears on and this offensive line gets better and better, I mean, teams going to be broke up. They're going to be hurt just like us. And this dude going to be running better and better because he's not worn down. He's not carrying 25, 30 times a game.
I heard Mario in the press conference say Damian is getting better because now Damian knows to move left and right in between the tackles, when before he would just stand back there and wait. But now he actually knows the playbook backwards and forward. And I never thought about that. I was like, oh, yeah, you get the ball and you run to the gap. But sometimes you can just get the ball and you don't really know where to run to, even though you know you're supposed to go in between the tackles.
And then it opens up.
Mario said, oh, no, he's very comfortable. He knows the plays now to the point where it looks like the guy that we saw at Oregon State. And yes, Lord. I mean,
even if you take away his 53-yard run, he's still over 6.5 yards a carry. That he wasn't being stopped. It was awesome.
He is straight trucking dudes, bro.
Yeah. Trucking
dudes in the hole.
Yeah.
And I know we talking about running backs, but I gotta say this, man. My favorite player on that offense after Xavier Strepo, after Cam Ward, Zach Carpenter, bro.
Oh, yeah.
This dude is balling, bro.
Yep.
I mean, I respect the trenches. Everybody's always paying attention to the right tackle and the left tackle. This center that we have is a mauler, and he knows how. He's a very smart player, man. I'm so glad we got this guy.
No, man, that offensive line, it's coming together. And talking about Damian again, it's a different, when you play behind different players, the speed is different, the blocking is different. And now he just gets it, man. And I think it's only going to be up and up and up for Damian and the whole team. So I'm excited about the running game. Forrest predicted, hopefully we would do 222 average this season. We finally made it, Forrest, 230.
We're getting there. I mean, we were 222 last week, 230. I mean, we're pulling it up, but that's a big number. But I mean, especially with Cam, I mean, look, it wasn't a bad game by Cam. It was just, this is like a different game, where, he was just, we're running the ball so well. The first game he didn't throw for a touchdown, although somebody did throw for a touchdown, which was fun.
All right.
He still, his stats, 22 of 35 for 208. Caught it.
It was an average game for Cam Ward. Melissa Hoodie Girl says nobody's talking about Big Inez Cooper.
Well, I was trying to give all the interior a shout out.
Yeah.
Inez Cooper had an amazing game from what I watched. Zach Carpenter had an amazing game. And this is the first time I can say Big Boy McCoy had his hands full with Mr. Darnell Jackson, former Miami Hurricane, because Jackson had a hell of a game. And you just can't take nothing away from that.
No, and he wanted to show out that game.
And of course he did.
They got beat bad, but man, he showed out. He did his thing.
He did his thing. I'm so shocked that the Marvin Jones Jr. kid and the other kid like I'm so disappointed with the front seven of Florida State. I mean, those guys are not rookies. You know what I mean? This is a lot of their second year in the program. That the defensive interior, they like fourth or fifth year seniors. And I will say for their secondary, the way they put the clamps on our guys, if our secondary, I hate to say it, but if our secondary ran like these guys for FSU, they had a very good strategy. They played a 2 deep cover 2 all night and kept everything in front of them. And Cam couldn't get behind them, and the short throws were locked up. So
let me tell you something that's different about being at the games.
It made me say 3 times, "What is Earl Little Jr. doing out at FSU?" I didn't know.
What's interesting about being at the games, and this goes back to my point I said a couple weeks ago. I talked to a couple coaches, and they said in college football, the defensive backs aren't the level as the pros, of course. So there's always receivers running free. Going to the game, you realize how many throws Cam could have made that he didn't see, because you can see the whole field. And there in college, there's always a couple receivers over. You just got to be able to see them, right? And we were looking at each other. We were like, I don't know if it's the black uniforms kind of masking these people in the black background. I don't know what it is, but he's not seeing the. And look, on TV, it looked like these receivers weren't open, but they were open. They were running all over the place open. And if you were at the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The whole feel of that. But Cam, what, 8th game? He finally had an average game. I'll take that. And they run for 250 and throw for like 215, whatever it was. Good. I'll take it.
Not only did I say that he was due for this type of game, but I was praying and I was telling Michael before the game even started, I said, nothing happened great in these black uniforms. So either he won't be able to see our receivers, or it's just the curse of the black uniforms. But if he's gonna have an average game, I think this will probably be the game. Well, because FSU, they're gonna be ready to play us. They are not afraid of that home field advantage. I mean, they beat the brakes off of us on that field. So it's like, oh, okay. And half the stands and their band is there. So it doesn't feel like you're playing that doke or whatever they call it.
But if anybody was at the game and you saw that, is it just me thinking I saw receivers running free all over the place?
He was just scared to let the ball go.
But he played safe. He played safe.
No, but okay, play the touchdown pass to Restrepo that Restrepo didn't catch.
Yes.
He looked over to the right and he saw the trips to the right. There was no way they were going to stop that touchdown if he just threw the ball out there.
Yeah.
But he did. He looked over there. He decided not to throw the ball over there, and he threw it to Restrepo, who didn't make the play. But that's our bread and butter play, and we're on the 3-yard line, bro. Throw the ball out there to the wing and let the guy walk in. Yeah. But he didn't make that choice. I don't know why. I don't know what was in his head, but the whole game looked like a damn scrimmage.
It honestly did, man.
It looked like, oh yeah, let's just run this play and that play, and let's play it safe here and play it safe there. But it did not look like a full. It didn't look like Louisville at all. It didn't look like Cal. It just looked like a scrimmage.
It was almost to the effect when you're at the game, you're like, oh, Florida State, they're not going to score.
They're not going to beat us. They're not.
And we should have scored, instead of those field goals, it should have been 11 more points. Yeah. Right? Because they should have scored 21. They only got 9 out of that. So, I mean, you're talking about 47-7. That's what the score should have been. But, big shout outs to Joshua checking us out, man. We love him. When did throw against man-to-man FSU? No, FSU corners did do their thing, man-to-man.
I said that.
But there were kind of some missed throws too. So, Forrest, what you want to jump into next? What we got?
Well, defense has been a problem the last 3 weeks. Granted, we're going against probably the worst offense, not that we're going to see, but one of the worst ones in the NCAA right now, at least in the major programs. But still, nonetheless, they did what they were supposed to do, at least, and that late touchdown, I mean, fine. They got a late touchdown, but basically we held them in check the whole game. There's no turnovers. We're still not getting a lot of turnovers, but we had 4 sacks, 4 tackles for losses. I mean, we statistically held them where they were supposed to be, which to me is kind of a win after what we've been going through the last 3 weeks. I don't care that their offense isn't good. We played against teams that don't have the best offenses, and they've been scoring, So
I will say this. Can I tell you what I hate? And this is for both sides. And I saw this on Miami. Number 7. I'm not picking on number 7. I'm not going to say names of whoever number 7 is. I can't stand when a receiver is wide open and the quarterback misthrows the ball and then the guy says he buckled him up. It's like, no. If that was a well-thrown ball, he would have caught that. You weren't even close to him. Stop. If you're a defensive back in college, stop doing that. And you see these guys run free, wide open, and the quarterback overthrow them. And then they're like, strap them up. It's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Right. No, you got lucky. That's what happened. I hate that. That's my biggest pet peeve about defensive backs right now. I know Finesse got a lot to say about the defensive backs.
I know we have a little bit of depth in what we're showing. I saw Zaquan Patterson get on the field. I sent you a text of number 19 trying to catch the guy. That number 19 is, I mean, when I say the thick maple syrup molasses, like slow, like coming out at Cracker Barrel, not IHOP, not Denny's, like Cracker Barrel slow maple syrup. There's no way you can play cornerback at the University of Miami and week after week, I don't care who runs by you. I saw his top end speed. If you go back and watch that little clip I just text you, Michael.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a fast guy, bro.
None of them are.
So between him and Jaden Harris, number 7, we're going to just continue to get lucky until we can get some more people on the field, because at this point, it has nothing to do with angles.
No.
It's just slow. It's just slow. It's just speed. And when you're charged with taking the person that's coming into your zone, and like you said, it's an errant throw, and you want to take the credit for that, or there's an opportunity for you to grab a tip ball and so close. Yeah. Like you almost have to get those tip balls for us to just forget about the last 7 plays, because we're all watching you, bro.
But it's kind of, you remember they were pressing Guidry at his press conference, and finally he just came out. What we said last week, he goes, "We got who we got." Yeah. Guidry literally said that. We got who we got.
Right.
And that's what me and Finesse was saying. We can't make a big deal about this. They're just not fast. And in open field, they're going to miss tackles like they did. The only way the cornerbacks win if the quarterback misthrows the ball, or if they don't tackle them right away, they're not. If you give a receiver a little space, he's juking the first man and going for a little bit every time. Melissa Hoodie Girl says Hill and Harris have been having some issues. Patterson needs more playing time, and Brown needs to get healthy. Yes, we do need Brown back. We do need Brown back. And the highest rated defensive back, OJ.
Yes.
OJ was the highest rated defensive back.
If we have somebody, if that if that Darren Brown,
Damari Brown, yeah.
That Damari Brown can team up with OJ Frederick, then we have Richards backing that guy up, and then we have Damani Hill, if not Damani Hill, whoever else. To me, that would make me feel more comfortable, and I think Mish would play a little bit better, because Mish was balling in the first 2 games.
Yes.
And now Mish just feels, now when I watch Mish, and he had a better game, the D-line had a better game, our linebackers had a better game.
Yes.
Telefuno, whatever his name is, for Florida State, he's no slouch.
No, he's a good back.
He is a great back.
9 is good.
We locked him up all game. Like, the tackles were there. And like you said, they have freshman quarterbacks, and they were swapping in and out, so you can't get into a rhythm when you do that at quarterback. But if they had Louisville's quarterback last night, it might be a different, more competitive game, but we were never in any trouble where this game was about to get close or out of hand. No. And that's why the game just seemed so blah, because Mario was content with running the ball because they were, And here's one thing I will say about Cam Ward's performance.
Yes.
He did not force anything.
No, he did not.
And when he forces stuff, we complain. And last night he didn't. And guess what? As true Miami fans,
we complain.
We complain.
But I'm not, you know what? Let me tell you the mood in the crowd, though. When we were there, it was just like what we talked about with me, Forrest, you. We were like, hey, man, he's not throwing the forced interceptions. Because when it was 17-7, a bad decision would have made it 17-14. Now you got a totally different game. Mm-hmm. So they were like, yo, let's run the ball. And this is what I love about Cam.
Mm-hmm.
When you listen to the Colorados and everybody, they're all talking about such and such to win the Heisman, such and such. You never hear that once from Cam.
Right.
Cam knows the biggest thing is to get drafted within the first 3 or 5 people.
Right.
Get the money. That's what a Heisman's great.
Right.
But that's what he's playing. He didn't come back for a Heisman. He came back to get drafted high. And his priorities are straight. That's why when people ask him, you never even hear our people ask him because they know his answer. Oh, I'm about the team. And he's always like, I got to clean up stuff. Because he does. When you're there, this is the one thing I don't like about games, like going to the games. And I love everybody I met, but it kind of takes the excitement away because you see too much.
Right.
Players running free. You see missed tackles. You see people take bad angles in real life. Some stuff, most of the stuff they don't even show on TV. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the bad thing as a fan that really watches. You're like, oh, he missed that. He missed that. So literally, I'm watching the whole game going, oh, did our defense even play well? Because when you're there, you're like, oh, if he missed that tackle, that dude would have left, been gone. But then you see the numbers and you're like, oh, yeah, they did play really good.
I don't think Damari Brown's coming back this year, if that's what you guys are saying. He left in September. They've never disclosed his injury, and everything that I've always looked on him, they don't know if he's coming back, but most people say he's probably not coming back. But it's undisclosed, the injury. So I think
it's coming back. He's going to go pro, or he can't play ever again?
This season, I thought you guys were saying, we need him back.
He's coming back this season, but he's just a person.
You're talking about for next year. You're talking about for next year. Okay.
Hold on. Mario said somebody's coming back with like a couple games left.
Porter, maybe? Or
no, I think
Porter's out there.
Here we go. Hold on.
Yeah, Porter's back. Yeah.
No, Mario said he was coming back towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait, Gio.
They also said he was coming back for Virginia Tech. I mean, they've said a couple times. Yeah.
I was there. Fans were not satisfied with that performance because they haven't seen a complete game. That's true, man. We haven't seen a complete game but I'm not complaining about that, man. They're getting dubs.
Listen, I'm definitely not complaining about 8-0. I am not complaining about 8-0 at all. And everybody looks when you play a game like that, a rivalry game, when anything could have happened, and especially in those uniforms. And I'm sorry I keep bringing them up.
No, uniforms don't matter.
We could keep saying uniforms don't matter until you keep losing in them every time you play in them. So
they were 4. Well, they were 4 and 6, and now they're 5.
But I did think the same thing. I said, "Oh no, the night uniforms, a night game. Maybe that might throw Cam's vision off." But the truth of the matter is, I thought Florida State did a great job in coverage. I thought Cam did so much scrambling that if somebody was open, that he felt comfortable. And he saw it, he would have threw the ball. He threw the ball out of bounds so many times, and I applauded that, But when your big dogs in the backfield was eating like they were, when you averaging 7 yards a carry, how can you not hand the ball off?
And they were just manhandling Florida State up front. So
the trenches, bro, it just looked like you just saw Martinez walking through the line sometimes. I was very impressed. I think we're doing great, bro. I told you. I said Duke and that SMU, those 2 programs who know Miami very intimately. I'm telling you, man, I'm glad we don't have to play SMU unless we see them in the playoffs. But I'm very nervous. I'm more nervous about next week than I am about FSU.
Well, the line is 19
against Duke.
Yes.
Come on, bro.
It's up to 20. It's up to 20 and a half now.
They're gonna. look, I've been off the last couple of games because there is no. Let me tell you something about Florida State. There is no way in my mind I thought Florida State would stop our passing attack like that. No way, no way. And I'm shocked they could play man to man with our receivers and hold us up like that. So I look. I saw the Duke, but here's the thing about Duke, man.
They got 2 5-star cornerbacks over there, bro.
Yeah.
Look, 5-star.
But listen to this. SMU turned the ball over 6 times against Duke, and Duke still lost. That's why Miami gonna put the beat down on them, man. It ain't. I don't think 21 points again. They'll win by 21, 20, 28.
Michael, I love you. You've been saying Miami gonna put the beat down on every opponent. Every opponent. You saying we win by 30. Every opponent.
Yeah. That's true.
We're going to the playoffs. We're gonna win the playoff. And then when we play for the Natty, I mean, that's you, Michael. You know.
Yes. But we did beat up Florida State, did we not? We didn't get to score, I thought, but we beat them up, didn't we?
Yes. We drew up Florida State.
Yeah,
all right.
We still got a lot. We racked up a lot of yards.
Yeah, sometimes the score doesn't have to reflect when you actually physically beat a team. And had the team played through the whistle and that quarterback didn't get that first down and that run, they would have never scored that first touchdown.
No, they wouldn't have. No,
they would have never scored that first touchdown.
Yeah.
And up in the same game, Damian Martinez has a very similar play because they stopped trying to tackle. And he goes for like another 35 yards.
And the last score, too, was what was there?
And that was garbage.
Yeah, game was over. So, yeah.
Can I ask you a question about, well, I guess Florida State, but can I ask you a question about Mario's decision not to put Emory Ward on the field for a
Emory Williams
series?
Emory Williams?
Emory Williams, yeah.
Well, okay. I'm going to tell you a story. This is a urban legend. This may not be true. All right. But I met a lot of people at that game. And the urban legend I heard was before the game even started that Mario has Norvell quotes in his office from what he said 2 years ago and all of the stuff he's heard recruits say from Florida State. Mm-hmm. So what I understood, Miami could have been up from 48 to nothing at half. He was going to play his starters the whole game.
Okay.
Because Florida State put their starters back in 2 years ago to stop us from scoring. Now, I don't know if this is, I know that's true, but I don't know.
People in the comments are saying to save his red shirt, but you have an urban legend, so. Like,
to save his red shirt, he still played though.
Yeah. Poffenberger came in at the end of the game. I think Emory has only touched the field one time this year.
Well, okay, maybe to save his red shirt, but
I think you get 3. You get 3 games.
Yeah.
Are you asking me why didn't he put Emory in at all? Or are you asking because I think he kept the starters in as long as he could because he wanted to put as many like if they would have got the ball back with two more minutes, he would have tried to score again.
Yeah, when you sent me that text and you said, "Oh no, the starters were about to go back in with 2 minutes to go."
Oh yeah, they were ready. They were ready till they got that first down.
Yeah.
Then they pulled the starters. Like from what I understand is Mario would have scored at will if every time they would have got the ball. If they had time, they would have scored because he remembers what they said. And I love the way. Did you see how he ended the press conference?
Yeah. Like we're you can tell whose program is up and whose program is down.
Come on now.
Hit the desk and walked off. I text you when it was 29-7 and he was going for 2. I said, now this is classless. And then after one commercial, I text you back and I said, never mind. Never mind. I forgive myself for that moment, that brain freeze. This is FSU. F them.
Because let me say, all the recruits that were there, this means something to those recruits. The Florida State today had a person, one of their top wide receiver decommit. Like this meant something. And guess one of the top schools for him? Miami. So that game meant something. So to run up the score, like those rules apply to other, like Duke, for instance. If Mario's up 21 with Duke, he gonna play it right. Florida State, though, the way Mario will never forget when they put those starters in, when our second or third string was trying to score. You know? That's something. And Mario said, hey, shoe's gonna be on the other foot.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was.
Did you check the scores, by the way, to see if anybody got it right? I was looking through them. There's a couple close
I didn't.
ones.
I saw a lot of close ones. I
Close.
didn't see. By the way, I was giving out $100 to whoever nailed the score first. I got to go through these rules again. It was the first person in the timeline to do it. It was the first, had to be subscribed. The cutoff was game time. And what was the other one for us?
You had to be the first one. You already said the first one to go. It has to be exact. The score exact.
Has to be exact. So as far, I got to go through the
both ones. 33-16, 38-13.
Nobody got it though, but we're gonna do it on our Duke predictions. We're gonna do it again. I'm gonna give away $100 if you nail the score and you're the first in the timeline. And have to be subscribed, and only one entry per. Not this podcast, but only one entry per podcast on the timeline. So we'll do that for the Duke one. So nobody got it this one though. Nobody got it, but I'll look again. But nobody, because if somebody got it, they would have hit me up already.
Yeah, I looked through it, and then I was waiting to see if anybody in the timeline would have jumped on, but I looked through it, and there was a couple that were really close. It's hard to do.
Let's talk about this. Any more stats we need to go over? Because defensive backs still need work. Front seven played great. Offense play, Cam was okay, but Cam, hey man, and let me tell you, all you fans out there mad that you're saying, "Oh, Miami didn't play good from front to back. There's not a complete game." Remember where we were 2 years ago. We were 5-7. All right. Now you being greedy. You 8-0, and now you just being greedy. And that's why Miami at times has the worst fan base ever.
It does, bro. It does.
Because
you can watch Ohio State play Nebraska, and the score is 21-17. And I'm sure everybody is like, we got the dub. But there was so many top 10 teams other than Alabama and Oregon who just blew their people out the water. Sometimes you just win by a field goal. Sometimes you win by a touchdown. And that's enough, people. It's college football.
Yeah, man.
Also, it's FSU. That's the other thing, too.
And it's FSU. It's not like FSU is going to lay down for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like.
But here's the stats, though. Like 445 to 248 in yards.
Come on now.
We dominated them. 35 minutes to 24 minutes time of possession. They're 3 of 13 on third down. We're 8 of 14. 3 of 3 on fourth down. I mean, you go through the stats. We had a good game. I'd like to have a turnover because we haven't had a lot of turnovers. But other than that,
stop being greedy, Forrest. You won.
Yeah, no. Other than that, I was happy. I was happy with the game because we, like you said, like I think Vanessa this. Nobody that watched that game was like, man, that was close. That was like
no.
It could have been 70-7, like the way we played them. So yeah, it was dominant.
I love the fact that I don't love it, but I appreciate the fact that Mario, Cam, you could just see it. They were like, "This is not that game. This is not that game where he throws for 4 touchdowns. Yeah. This is not that game where he throws for over 300 yards." And everybody on that team was okay with it.
Yep.
And as a quarterback, you have to be okay with it because there are receivers who don't get a catch. There are running backs who don't get a touch. So you have to be okay with it when you don't have the big Heisman game every damn game. And I'm glad that it happened in a victory.
And by the way, if you're watching this, please subscribe. We're doing this live. Jimmy, Benjamin, I'm going to get to that question in a second about flips. But I also, when I saw Cam in the press conference, he knows, even though he didn't have his best game, he missed two for sure touchdown passes. He was off. So he knew he had his shots though too. And that's what I love about the development of him. It's like, I got my shots. I didn't get them, but I can get better. And that every press conference is good like that. Let me get to Jimmy's question really quick. If it's good enough for flips, was that game good enough for flips? I don't know if it's good enough for flip. I do think yes, but I also know that game is good enough for decommits, which you already saw from Florida State. So we still win, even if we don't get their player, they go somewhere else. We still win.
Right.
So and you already got
the person I think we want most is DJ Pickett, and the school that's his top choice lost.
Yes, LSU.
If you get a win and your school loses, and you realize that we need safety help, it's just sort of like you may not flip that night, but Mario and those guys, unless you sent in, they used to fax those letters of commitments in. And I heard they're getting rid of that whole system now.
Yeah.
But until you are sending in that paperwork, it's not over for them Hurricanes.
No.
Not at all.
Not with that. So you got Vernell Brown, you got Ben Hanks, they're committed to Florida. I mean, Florida State is pretty much wiped out. I know Sampson is still from Florida State. That's who we really want. Sampson, I believe, from Florida State. But everybody else is pretty much left that team. Like Florida State, the last time I checked, before they lost the commit, this morning was like 33 in recruitment. So they're going to drop to like 37, 38, and Florida was like 37, 38. So Miami is definitely running the town. So yes, do I think, DJ Pickett did not attend. He's supposedly coming next week. We'll see.
Oh, he didn't come to the game?
He did. He was supposed to, but I guess, and I might be making this up, but like I heard this in the crowd, but all these people around me had knowledge. They said he had a homecoming or it was homecoming time for them. So he couldn't make it, but we'll see. But LSU lost. That helps. And I honestly believe the talk around the people I talked about, like around, and not just people in the crowd. I was around some people. They're like, he coming. You know, we really believe he's going to come to Miami because, you know, his family goes there. Miami's winning. We don't have the greatest secondary right now. I mean, what more could you ask for?
We have some studs. Well, they freshmen. We don't know how they pan out on the field
right now, yeah.
But the freshmen and the incoming class, we're gonna have at least 10 cornerbacks. So you know you're gonna have a lot to choose from and to pick from. So I'm not really worried about the secondary, but we could use a stud safety like James Williams was, and I think DJ Pickett is that guy. You know what I mean? I think no matter what field he hits, he starts as a freshman, no matter who he plays for.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a James Williams type player. But what I also like about him is that he covers like Cam Kitchens, you know? So when I watch tape on people and I say, what's the big deal? And I say, oh, he moves pretty fluidly to be like 6'9" or however tall he is. But you know, so I hope he does come to UM because right now we just don't have that bona fide star safety, and we need that. Outside of that, if Cam leaves, I feel so confident in our running game next year and our O-line that I feel like we still gonna be balling and throwing the ball around because Emory is pretty accurate.
It'll be more of a Georgia style offense.
Yeah.
So I want to get to this question right here. Remember, hit that subscribe button, leave that like, hit that like button. Forrest always tells me. Also, it's an audio podcast too. We never promote the audio side, but Forrest uploads that all the time as well. This is for all of us. Okay, can I ask y'all a question? Is Cam Heisman campaign in jeopardy because of his performance against FS?
Can I answer that question?
Go ahead.
How many interceptions did Cam throw?
0.
Also, how many touchdowns did he catch?
1.
That's I'm telling you, when it comes to the Heisman, those are fun. That's a fun stat where they're like, he threw for this many touchdowns, ran for this many, and caught one. That's not a bad thing to have on your resume. But also, by the way, if you're looking at just the odds, right now they have Dylan Gabriel moves slightly ahead of him at plus 225. Cam Ward's at plus 275. This is as of today. The Boise State running back, Ashton Jeanty, he had he had a great game in real life, but for him, he had an average game too. He had like 130, 140. Yeah, but like it'd be great for anybody else. But he kind of has taken a little bit of a dip where he was going to break Barry Sanders' records. He might not break Barry Sanders' records now, which I think is what he had to do to get to that place. But they're all going to be in the mix there, you know. So it's
and those polls right now, those are like political polls. They're everywhere. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. Just know those 4 will be most likely in New York. It's going to be Cam, Gabriel, Travis Hunter, and
Ashton Jeanty. Yeah, that's going to be. It's probably going to be those 4 as of right now.
So whoever's moving now or this, that don't even matter. That don't even matter. It don't matter.
And the performances that you see in this year's playoffs are going to determine a lot of that movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you could throw 4 touchdowns and a loss, and people be like, "Yeah, but the quarterback balled out."
Yeah,
I remember when I watched Stroud play Georgia, and he was clearly the best player on the field, but they lost to Georgia. And I can't believe the Carolina Panthers picked Bryce Young over C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
That boggled me, and I was like, man, that's some Cleveland Brown stuff right there. I don't know what they was doing, but
what I was gonna say too is while we're talking about other things here, and again, I really don't care where we're ranked, especially since it doesn't really matter until we get to the ACC championship and if you know what happens there in the playoffs because there's 12 slots now. But the Miami Heat, we talk about it every week though. It's like this Ohio State win with their one loss is still going to keep them in front of us. And they're going to be like, that's a great, gritty win last minute against a way inferior team that got smoked by Indiana the week before that. And then when we win close at home, they're like, sorry, guys. And again, I'm just putting it out there because this is Ohio State. And I
hate them.
I hate watch them so much.
See, Forrest, I was hoping you didn't bring this up because I get so hot when I think about it. They almost lost, like Nebraska played them close, right?
Yeah. They were losing in the fourth to Nebraska with 6 minutes to go. They're losing to Nebraska at home. Yeah.
Well, they have Penn State next week, so somebody got to lose.
Somebody got to lose. Well, here's what's good for us, right? When we take care of business, not ifs. When we take care of business, we're going to be 4-3 next week. SMU is playing Pitt. One of them going to lose. I think SMU plays Pitt, right?
They eventually played.
No, I think next week. SMU play.
Clemson plays Louisville, SMU, and Pitt next week. Yeah,
right,
SMU. Yeah.
So one of them going to lose. So Pitt or SMU going to lose. So it'll just cause separation. So like literally, they could name next week Separation Saturday. Hey, ESPN, you can take that idea, Separation Saturday, because this is where teams start to separate. You can use that, ESPN. What's this?
That Rashard Smith over there balling, bro.
Man, but he wouldn't even played here, man. Who you gonna put him over? Who you gonna put him over? Finesse or Forrest? Who you gonna put him over? Damian, Fletcher, AJ Allen. Who you gonna put him over?
No, he'd have to take his ass out there at the slot, but you're not putting him before Restrepo. So
he'd be sitting the bench. Exactly.
Why doesn't Ray Joseph spell Restrepo sometimes?
Restrepo don't come out of the game, man.
That's what I'm saying. Can you get the boy on the field for at least 2 series a game? Ray Joseph has quietly been a very class act that nobody is talking about.
Oh, Ray's great. Ray's great. But doesn't he return punts or kicks?
Yes, because he can't get on the field at slot.
You got to wait your time, man. You got to wait your time.
He's a sophomore, bro. This is 3rd year, I think.
Let me tell you something.
It's 3rd year in our system.
Let me tell you how I know he's going to be that dude next year. It's because talks so highly of him. I think he's going to be that dude next year. All right. Hello from Indiana. I'm cool with this win, especially when we were dominant without Cam airing it out. Run game and D won it. Hey, D played good.
I was very excited about it.
Let me go through. FSU defense was playing prevent all night with their DBs playing excellent coverage. Yeah, they were playing. They just didn't want the big play.
Yeah.
They were daring Ward to throw on them, which is why we ran it down their throats. It's right. It's right. Yes, Emory will be fine, but we need someone with more skill, experience to replace Cam. Like, here's the thing. A lot of people don't think we got the quarterback that's going to be our quarterback. And I kind of agree. Like, my thing is, when I say, let's go to portal and get a quarterback, people are like, oh, you don't want to, you can't do that every year. No. I think in 2 years, we will be good with quarterback, whether it's Emory, Luke, or whatever. But what's wrong with also being like the old Miami? Bring in a portal quarterback you think is great and let them compete. What's wrong with competing?
I think Emory should get the job. I think if Emory beats out whoever's in the class right now, let that man have a job. But, hey, that's just my opinion. I think Emory will be a great quarterback.
I know he's a fighter, man. That Florida State game changed the thing for me. He beat Clemson.
Jakari Brown didn't beat Clemson. Emory did.
Yeah.
He almost beat FSU. And just sitting behind Cam and watching somebody like that, I feel like he's going to be such a leader next year. I'm thinking he's also learning how to be vocal with the team because you can't help but mimic what you see.
Yep.
I just think I think he'll be the guy. I think he'll be a Ken Dorsey type quarterback.
Yeah, and then the offense
a little bit more physical because Ken Dorsey wasn't running.
No, they'll have to be more physical. It'll be like a Georgia. Like he'll scramble here and there, but it'll be like a Carson Beck type of situation. You know?
I don't even know who's balling right now where we would want to go out and pay another $2 million to be like, yeah, come head up our program for 1 year and bounce.
But let's be honest, they didn't think that about Cam. A lot of people didn't think that about Cam. He wasn't like, they had DJ they thought was great too. They had other people.
Let me tell you something. I don't know what was wrong with me, but when I found out we was going after Cam Ward, something was wrong with me, Michael. Something was wrong with me, Forrest. I literally watched the same highlight tapes almost every other night, just trying to doze off to sleep. And I'm like, this dude is pretty damn good. And when they said he was coming to Miami, I said, man, we about to ball out of control.
Yeah, man.
I knew the receivers we had. And I said, our receivers got to be better than Washington State. So if we can block, I just didn't know our O-line was going to be as good as it is. I think last year our O-line was a tad bit better with keeping people clean.
I mean, because Matt Lee was a beast, and then what was his name? Javion
Cohen from Alabama.
Javion Cohen. I mean, you lost two great players. I was the same way. I was like, I don't know if they're going to be as good, but they're good.
They're good. They are good enough. I cannot wait to play somebody outside of the ACC. I can't wait to play Clemson because that's going to be the real test.
Yeah. But we beat Clemson last year, man. With
their quarterback looked totally different, brother.
They're playing well. They're playing well now. I know that first game of the year, they didn't even show up, but they've been playing really well. And then they play Pitt in 3 weeks. So they're really battling it out there between Pitt and SMU and Pitt and Clemson. But I still think Clemson's going to come out unscathed.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't be shocked to be playing Pitt. I think Pitt would give us a tougher game than Clemson.
By the way, I was way wrong. We were doing our predictions. I was being silly and stuff with Syracuse Pitt. First of all, the Syracuse quarterback just threw 5 picks, no touchdowns. That's a bad day. But Pitt looked because it was on. What was that, Friday night? It was on either Thursday.
Yeah,
or Friday
night.
Yeah, because it was just on. Like I got to watch them, and I was like, oh, okay. Like they're better than I thought. I just hadn't watched them all year, and I disrespected them. But.
I used to feel bad for Ja'Cory Brown. I watched UCF play whoever they were playing the other day.
Yeah.
And Ja'Cory Brown.
BYU. Yeah.
BYU and Ja'Cory Brown was the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank God we have Cam Ward. Thank God. And I was a Ja'Cory Brown fan. I was kind of saying that, they just didn't develop him.
Yeah.
There was one play that I just couldn't get out of my head where it was like 3rd and maybe 3, and everybody took off on a streak. And so he was supposed to dump the ball down to the running back that had a wide open field. And Michael, he threw the ball, the screen pass into the ground. Nobody deflected it. It didn't slip out of his hand. It just hit the guy at his shoe, a screen pass. And he was cursing at himself. He was scared to come over to the sideline. Everybody kind of distanced himself a little bit, and he just sat in a chair, just mad at himself. And I was just like, "Oh my God!"
Is that when they pulled him?
Yeah, they pulled him. They pulled him right after that play because they was like, "Bro," So
my thing is, look, we love Cam, but one thing I will say about Ja'Cory, that dude gave everything he could to Miami. He was there when everybody bounced. So forever to me, he stands in good grace. Is because, man, this dude, he could have left a long time ago. He didn't have to play that bowl game for us because the other players left, and he did. So, man, Ja'Cory, and he was always so supportive of everybody on that team. So,
yeah, he always talked great. Yeah.
Hey, but maybe he does. I know he probably hates to hear it, but maybe he's like, yo, I'm gonna try this quarterback. But when I get to the NFL, once he tests for the NFL, he's gonna test through the roof.
Yeah.
So.
I would definitely put him at receiver on the outside.
Yeah.
Fast and too big, bro.
Here's a quick question for you. I meant to ask earlier. I written down. Does FSU, because we're going back to, do they win any more games this season? You want to know who they're playing?
Yes.
They play North Carolina next week. They're at home. Then they're at Notre Dame. Not going to win that.
Nope.
They're at home against Charleston Southern, I think, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they're at home against Florida.
They'll lose to Florida. They'll beat the Charleston. They'll win one more game.
Okay. They'll beat Charleston Southern. We're going to give them that. All right.
I think so.
They could. It could. If they lose to North Carolina and Notre Dame, they're going to be 1-9 going into Charleston Southern. There could be a.
I mean, but I don't care how many more games they lose right now. It's how much more deflated can you be? Because we could be like, well, they'll be really down at 1-9.
It's fun for them to be deflated. Yeah, that's what
they're already deflated.
We would just not have enough scholarships, man. I don't think we've ever been in a position where Florida State is down bad and University of Florida is down bad and seeking a new coach. We just won't have enough scholarships to bring in what we want to bring in.
But you know what's sad? You know what's sad is that they'll start letting go of, God, I hate to say this, but we all know how the game is. These 3 to 4 stars will get upgraded. They already said can come on the team. We'll get upgraded to the 4 to 5 stars. And they're going to get dropped. You know, and that's the sad reality of college football right now because it's money involved now. You know, you treat it like real now. So you ever see Miami players commit and then all of a sudden they commit somewhere else, or they just I'm decommitting? A lot of that is pushed by the coaches too, from every team, not just Miami, a lot of teams. Because when you're as hot as you are right now in Miami, and let's say you're a 3-star and they picked you up because some position fell through, and now all these people coming back, I mean, yeah, it's business, you know.
We have champagne problems in Coral Gables, fellas.
Yeah,
because Miami stock is just soaring through the roof. We got the freaking $100 million facility. We got the friendly president to the dang football program in place, and we got a winning record, and we got people in the NFL doing this. It's just man, we're so hot that people, every comment from everything that's posted is just either like, woo, it's our fans saying we should have done this, or people just hating.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is what I remember Miami being when we
in 91.
That's what I remember. I just remember saying, how come we didn't beat the brakes off these people when we beat somebody 30-14?
Yeah.
Literally 30-14, and the comments would be like, but we just beat so-and-so 56-3. And so I remember those days, and I'm like, man, this feels so nostalgic to be here.
So if you don't know, Finesse was part of the team in 91, won the national championship. So we love to have him on for the insight with the players.
I saw Jesse Armstead on the sideline talking to Ray Lewis. I was just like, wow, look at these guys, man.
I know, man. That, to me, you know what's interesting is we got a couple comments that said, and you saw the game on TV, both of you. Did the noise come through or no? Because some people's like, it didn't sound loud.
I was talking about it earlier. So I was listening to the WQAM feed on Sirius XM, and I don't know where the hell they were sitting. Joe Zagacki, and it sounded like they were sitting in the crowd because it was so loud. Like I could barely hear their call at certain time. And that's where I was listening to it, so I could hear that the CAN. I could hear everything on the field. Yeah. Like he was going to lose his voice by the end of it because then occasionally I would switch over to the national feed because I was like, I need to hear the play better. Sometimes it was so loud. It was loud. I could tell it was loud on that feed. Yeah.
Yeah. And man, they're not going to pump it up as loud for announcers to yell over if you're watching the national. It was loud in there, man.
No, on WQM, it was you couldn't even hear them sometimes.
I will say when it wasn't loud is when they kicked the field goal. When Sebastian came out, nobody's hyped for a field goal. Nobody got a hype for a field goal.
We have that kid, man. That boy Gallus, bro. On any other team, bro, we would be like, oh my God, he got to be a second-round pick at least.
Yeah,
hold on one second. Joshua says FSU receiver. This is the one I was talking about. Just decommitted, and he plays with Luke Nickel in Milton, Georgia. So who knows? Who knows?
I like Luke. I like his highlights. I wish he was a little bit taller, but I like Luke Nickel. And I
think Luke Nickel is tall.
I don't think he's tall, bro.
Hold on. Let me look it up.
Somebody look that up and put it in the comments. Man, I don't think
I
he's
thought
that.
Luke Nickel
But-
was a big dude, man. Hold on.
What
let
you
me-
were saying about Borregales, I was going to pile on top of that too. Is like that Virginia Tech game, he hits a 56-yarder before we go into halftime. We're not even in the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? And that was just like a thing like, oh, yeah, we got a 56-yarder.
I remember during the Brad Kaya years, we lost to FSU because we missed the extra point, bro.
Yes. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, hey, I think Borregales and his brother, and I hope they got a cousin or something, you know, because we can't do no wrong with those two, with that family. But
I'm
So
looking
they
it
said-
up. Maybe they got another brother.
They said Luke is 6'2", 6'1", 6'2". So you like him like 6'4", right?
I like him about 6'3", 6'4", but Cam is 6'2". I don't even believe Cam is 6'2". Did you get a chance to meet Cam? Yep, Michael.
He walked right by. Like, you know, it's different when Cam walks out. It's a different story. Like, he got security guards. It's different. You know what I mean?
Have security.
Yeah, he walked. I was taller than Cam. But
okay. And what are you, 6'2", 6'3"?
I'm like 6'3" and a half.
So he's 6'1". Gotta be.
I was right next to. I'm taller than him. Yes.
When he walked out, did he have cleats on?
I didn't look. No, he was in normal clothes, but he could have had cleats. I didn't even look at that. But you know who's big in real life?
Who?
Arroyo. That tight end. That's a big boy, bro.
Yeah.
He looks big on TV though.
Okay. So listen, Forrest.
Yeah.
Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but Rhett Lashley did it, and now we have Shannon Dawson do it. Shannon had a play with Kobe Young and Jacoby George where they're in motion, and as soon as you hike the ball, they run back the other way.
Yep.
For an easy touchdown. It never misses. Every time you run that play, but it's like we're running that play against Bethune-Cookman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we never run that play when we're in the red zone and it's against a team that really matters.
Yeah.
I think they saved
Virginia Tech, I don't know if y'all remember this play. 4th and short, we get in a short yardage formation. It almost looks like a tush push or whatever you call it. Yeah. And we sneak Arroyo down the middle of the field, and we toss him the ball over everybody, and he just walks into the end zone. Why do we get away from these plays? Like, why do you see these plays once and you never see them again?
Okay, I will say this. I think he's saving that play because that's when you save for like playoffs. When you like, you don't. Why you gonna do it on Florida State?
I agree with Finesse. I think you run it multiple times because then you're in the formation and you have several different plays you can run out of it. And then when the playoffs come, then people are thinking like, what are they doing?
Thinking about which one, you know what I mean?
I agree with you totally. Like the more you run them, the harder it is for the game plan. Like, oh, are they running this play again? Or are they?
I don't know. I think it's the other way. I think they're like, they don't want to put it on tape that much. So when they do it, it's a surprise. And that's why it's always wide open. You know, if you're doing that once every game, they're going to be ready for that, man. They're going to have
not once every game, but just a couple of times during the year. So when you're in that formation, they still don't know. Are they going to run this play? They're just going to hand it off. What are they doing? You know? So,
I saw 52 Biggie. I saw that too. The quarterback commit, he took a picture next to Cam Ward, and he was shorter than Cam Ward. Is that what you're talking about, 52 Biggie? I think I saw that picture on Instagram too. And I was like, that dude's short. If that was the quarterback.
You know what, Michael, yo?
What?
That kid that 52 was talking about,
I
think he plays up in Jacksonville or somewhere. Luke Nickel better bring his A game because this kid is accurate.
Oh, yeah. Super. That's what he's known for, being really accurate.
Oh, my goodness. I saw his tape, and I was like, we set. All we need is Emory to get us through next year.
Yeah.
And then let these two kids, Luke and this, whatever that kid's name is, D. Coleman, and let them two battle it out. I don't know about Judd. I forgot his last name. Anderson.
Well, if Emory gets you through next year, he's gonna be there for the year after.
Yeah. Or not.
Okay.
I mean, you know what? That quarterback is a dirty game, bro. Because
it is.
I to this day, I said Kaya shouldn't have left. And if Kaya would have stayed one more year, who knows what that next year would have looked like for Miami. But then Kaya couldn't do what Malik Rozier could do with his legs.
Yeah.
He won a lot of games with that QB sneak going up the middle.
Let's talk about, I didn't get a chance to meet Malik, but we were trying to hook up. How dirty did they do him that season?
Bro.
I mean, talk about just dirty. Switching them out with the home dude with that would go out to drink and I'm making this up.
Kosi Perry and Malik Rozier years. Who was our coach? Was it the Georgia coach?
Al Golden?
Rick.
No,
Rick.
The legendary University of Georgia.
Mark Rick.
Yeah, Mark Rick, yeah.
I've never seen that. I've never seen somebody not play bad and get pulled.
It was so weird, man. That whole back. Who was the other quarterback?
I'm looking it up right now. I was just
started with a J. I want to say his last name was Brown or something. Because I think he even went to UCF after, or some Florida FIU.
I think Nkosi Perry got pulled for Malik, right?
Yeah, whatever it was. If somebody remembers exactly, hit us up. Jaron Williams. That was
Jaron Williams.
Boy.
Jaron Williams beat FSU.
He did. And that's what
breaks off of him.
He beat that one. Yes, that was such a mess. You know how some people are just messy? That whole quarterback situation that year was just
messy during that time.
Can I just say something? Melissa, who always listens, is like AI for the University of Miami. Like, you just say something and she has the answer in a second.
Oh, Melissa's a beast. Melissa's a beast.
I can't see y'all comments.
I gotta change that where you can see it. For the next one, I'll change that function where you can see it.
Okay.
Oh wait, Melissa says Williams was after Rozier graduated.
She messed up after I gave her credit.
Yeah.
Chat GPT.
No. Melissa said that.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say there's no way she messed up. Chat GPT for UM. Anything you need to know, she's got it. So.
Man, that's crazy. All right.
The future, boys.
Okay, we'll talk about Duke. That podcast will come out Tuesday or Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Subscribe. Any final thoughts on the game, Miami? My final thought, I'm gonna say it first, and then y'all can wrap up too. If you're saying Miami didn't play well against Florida State, you're being greedy now. Stop being greedy. Enjoy 8-0 because it's about to be 9-0, 10-0. I really think we're going 12-0, and I just think you got to enjoy the moment, man. You got to enjoy it. Look, we won the state of Florida. We state champs. Enjoy that. Yes, could Miami play? So what? Yeah, they won 36-14. Stop your bitching. All right, Finesse, Forrest, is whatever you want to say.
I'm just echoing what you said. Like, at no point in that game was I stressed out. At no point was I stressed. And the last 3 weeks have been stressful. And so I just was like, I just enjoyed the game. I loved, man, just watching some power running. I anyone that didn't like that, I don't know what to tell you, because that was fun. We stomped them from beginning to end, and it was relaxing. It was relaxing. Finally relaxing.
Can I tell you what it reminded me of? What Mario is trying to get his team ready for? He know he's gonna meet up with Ohio State, and he getting that running game like when he brought Oregon up there. And just they couldn't stop that. It seems like he training them for that right now because he knows what's coming. But it's fate that Miami plays Ohio State again. It's fate, man. I just feel it's going to happen.
Is that how the brackets shake out where we might?
I don't know for it.
They don't know yet.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
But you know the football guys. They're like, yo, we need to make this happen. And Mario's just getting that team ready to just run the ball down Ohio State.
How funny is it that we had Will Howard on campus ready to choose his locker, and we didn't pull the trigger?
No.
Yeah.
And we ended up almost saying, I guess we're going to go with Poffenberger for quarterback. Until Cam called him up and said, I'm not going to the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, that just changed everything, bro, because we definitely lost out on the Will Howard, and he was ready to sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Finesse?
Our final thoughts is that, like you said, 8-0. There's only maybe 4 or 5 teams that can do that every year, and right now we're one of them. So we're in that conversation. If you're bitching, it's only because you're watching football for entertainment. There are people who actually watch the game because they know the game. And anytime you can play a rivalry game and you don't have any serious injuries, you go into next week healthy, you got a better shot at winning and getting to 9-0.
I love in our comments now, the people that listen to the podcast that kind of go talking back and forth with each other. Somebody will say something and then another follow will be like, well, that doesn't make any. I love that. I love the interaction within the comments. It's fun to watch. I'll make sure you can see it next time. Before you go, Finesse, tell everybody where you are.
This weekend I'll be at the Mohegan Sun Casino coming up Halloween weekend. I'll be there Thursday to Saturday at Comics Roadhouse inside the Mohegan Sun Casino. It's called Comics Roadhouse. That's in Connecticut, people, Uncasville, Connecticut. And then right after that, if you're a fan of the Martin Show, remember Gina, Martin's girlfriend. She and I will be doing stand-up comedy at the Richmond Funny Bone the 8th and the 9th of November. So get your tickets, finessemitchell.com. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Right. Forrest, what do you got?
I'm finally home for a couple weeks. So that's nice. But when I'm back out on the road, I'm going to be at the New York Comedy Festival. I have a show at the New York Comedy Club on November 14th. And then I also have 2 weeks later, I'll be in Phoenix at Mike Mania. Those are the shows I'll need people to come out to, please. So New York Comedy Fest and Phoenix. ForrestShaw.net. Everything's on there.
Brandon Brock, what's up? Comics on Canes, let's go. Thank you for the love.
Michael, have you done the New York Comedy Festival?
No, because I don't want to say on purpose, but we saving that date for next year because I'm going to do like something big out there.
Okay. Forrest, have you done it before?
No.
Okay. All right. I've never done it. So I just want
yeah. I've never done it.
No. Are you not? You're not there? Okay. I thought you were going to say you were going to be there. So
No. I've never done it. I just wanted to know what it was like.
No, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to be in Madison November 7th through 9th. My first time at Comedy on State. It's a legendary club.
You tell those beautiful women that run that club, Finesse Mitchell said hello.
Okay. Yeah, they're very nice. They're very nice people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to go to that club and to throw down. And then I'll be at the Ice House. I'm doing a show Forrest of Finesse November 15th. If you're in town, pop by. Would love to have you.
Okay. You heard it, Forrest.
It's on a Friday. It's on a Friday.
Is it pop by and watch you perform or pop by and do some time?
I would never ask you to pop by and watch me perform. That is the worst.
Let's talk comedy. Before we sign off, let's talk comedy. I want to know if I'm in the wrong. Somebody said, hey, I'm coming out to the Ice House. Can you make sure that my name is at the door? Mm-hmm. I don't want to have no problems. I said, I got you.
Yeah.
When I saw them and they was like, all right, who's going first, second, or third? I said, okay, it's gonna be this person, and then Gina. then Tisha, then me. And they looked at me like, and I was like, what? I was like, oh no, I can't put you on the show. I don't have time. But I hit you up. I'll let you know. I said, you let me know to let you in to make sure you didn't have a problem at the door. You got to be specific. So I'm not wrong when a comic says, hey man, look out for me. I'm coming through. I'm like, okay, I got you.
But that's different. They asked you. I'm asking you to come, which means I expect you to perform if you come.
Okay.
If you a comic and you invite another comic to your show,
right?
They perform. What comic would invite somebody to watch them perform? That's terrible.
Right.
That's horrible. That's breaking all kinds of comedy codes.
Look at Forrest.
No. I was literally thinking of where I'm going to be on the 15th, and I'm not going to be here. So.
We're gonna. Anthony says, "State chance, baby. Miami finally on the other side, taking over the state of Florida. It's been way too long." Yes. 52 Biggie says, "Do Gina still have that body?" Finesse. All right, Comics Arcade. Please subscribe to the pod. Please subscribe. Thank you so much. Forrest will get this up on the audio side. Hey, your subscription is like money to us. This is how we get paid. So hit that subscribe button. Later.
Hey, you gonna break up no happy home.